It's Week 13 of the NFL, and we've got CeeDee Lamb. He comes into this one 5th in the NFL in touchdown receptions. Who knows what we're in store for here? All that and more coming up next on EA Sports.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. The streak continues, doesn't it? They come in here a perfect 11-0. On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they come in after a win last week, and it had been some time since we said that. That broke a 9-game skid.
So I'm not sure if that was happiness or relief in their locker room after the last game. Let's see if they can put a second win together.
The kicker, Graham Gano, set to put his foot into this one. And we are underway here on EA Sports. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They'll be led out by the former number 3 overall pick back in 2021. It's Trey Lance.
In recent years, we've seen a lot of love for North Dakota State in the NFL draft. And Trey Lance, he's a great example of what the Bison are sending to the league each and every year. This guy looks like a franchise quarterback. He wants his opportunity to prove it to the rest of the league.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They run here with Rico Dowdle. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 16 carries, 138 yards.
And even though it's a short week, running backs love when they're in a groove, and that's exactly where he is right now. He's hoping to feast a little bit more here on Thanksgiving.
This is 2nd and 8. They run again with Dowdle. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. On play action, Lance. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb. And this is taken in at the 5. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team is going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week, we're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
Seven 0 is our score, ready for the dynamic kickoff as this one's away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They will be led out by a 2nd-round pick in 2019. Out of Missouri, it's Drew Lock.
And his stat line last week, that's not going to get him to the Pro Bowl. All right, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but they won. And so the bottom line for him is team won, managed the game effectively, led them to victory. He's doing all the right things.
And not much doing there, maybe a yard up to the 23. But you look at this defense. Well, they were very strong in that victory from a week ago.
I just consider myself fortunate that I'm not in charge of the offensive line. They gave up 7 sacks last week. And if things don't improve in this game, the head coach isn't going to be looking at the offensive line. He's going to look at the offensive line coach. And that's when things get dicey.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
Well, this defense very strong in that victory from a week ago.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them.
No escape for Locke, and he'll go down. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now.
And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away.
It's taken to the 26. Shoves him aside near the 35. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's our home team with possession as they get set to start their drive with a 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Now that's a big-time run. Lightning in a bottle, forget it. He exploded out of the bottle for that type of a pickup.
And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this will be scooped up by the defense. Anything to make of this or just a bad stretch? Because he had the 2 fumbles he lost last week and now a 3rd.
It's a bad stretch, but it's one that he has to make sure he overcomes. This isn't on anyone else but him. Taking care of the ball, tucking it away, keeping it high and tight, all the while doing that and not slowing down his running and his ability to move the ball forward.
Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive. They'll take over deep in their own end after the fumble recovery as they start 1st and 10. Following the fumble recovery, it's Locke. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's 2nd down.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got him aware.
Singletary loses it, and the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way. And they will have the football deep in enemy territory all the way at the 10-yard line. Make it 2 weeks in a row now. He's kind of been Johnny on the spot. A fumble recovered last week, and now 2 in a row.
Reminds me a little bit of an old teammate of mine. We used to call him the Vulture because he would swoop in and clean up after the play was made. But, boy, we said it with a lot of affection because he made a lot of game-changing plays by getting to the football that had been knocked loose.
What was your nickname, by the way?
Can you go get me some water, guy, please? The rest of us are playing.
Yeah, right. Too humble. So now, just like that, things change dramatically. It's 1st and goal. Following the fumble recovery, Lance. And the ball is knocked out.
Oh, one of the linebackers has got it.
And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop it? And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Locke going to throw. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sacked on 1st down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
On 3rd down, they go with Singletary. And he'll go down for a loss inside his own 5 at the 4. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Take it at the 37. And running with power here. And he will have a touchdown. 63 yards on a punt return score. And his guys get the quick strike touchdown.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they hit the ball and kick it right to him.
Aubrey now for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Back out comes this offense now late in this first half. They're certainly in need of some kind of points here before the end of the half. A field goal or something, being shut out right now. They could really use some momentum before they head into halftime.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On play action, Locke.
Complete to his China, Jalen Hyatt.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A good pickup there, 21 yards. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Here's Locke.
Looking Hyatt's way once again.
Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. To throw it is Locke.
And he'll get this underneath to Singletary.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Again, it's Locke.
Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
We'll call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Amazing, perfectly placed. If that ball goes one extra yard, maybe not even an extra yard, the starting point is the 20.
So there is a reason that a lot of punters are also excellent golfers. They know distance control. You know what else they have? Same groove motion over and over. Once they have that down, it repeats under pressure.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 10.
Second and a couple. Now a play fake. Lance. He'll fire deep downfield for Lamb.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So we've hit halftime here in what obviously is a very fast-moving first half of play. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. A number of great games coming up this holiday weekend. Of course, we begin tomorrow. The second ever Black Friday game. The Raiders, Chiefs from Arrowhead. Even more good matchups to check out in the late afternoon window. A 4 o'clock start up in Baltimore, where it'll be the Ravens taking on what should be a very tough opponent. And lastly, on Sunday Night Football, this will be one to tune in for, as they've got a good one lined up between the San Francisco 49ers and the Buffalo Bills. In that first half, we were treated to a stellar performance by quarterback Trey Lance. He's got a touchdown pass on the ledger, as his guys were able to build a double-digit lead.
The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break. But I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
Both these teams, no doubt, making their final halftime adjustments as we speak. And for the call of the second half, we get it back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And able to get this out to the 25. This offense ready to go to begin this third quarter. And right out of the gate, they face what you think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Singletary again. And he's going to get about 7 yards on that one, up to around the 33.
And that was a good run, and it should get the attention of the defense, but it can't just dwell on it. They've been playing so well this entire game. Maybe they just look at it and say, okay, congratulations, you got 1 on us, and just not let it turn into more.
He's got Slayton on the slant. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Once again, he finds Slayton. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that will bring up 2nd down. Final minute now of the third quarter. A handoff on the option to Singletary. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
They look to throw. It's Locke. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line.
And that has to be a little bit discouraging because after all their halftime talk, adjustments, and points of emphasis, their first drive ends with an interception. Absolutely aggravating if you're a head coach because you spent all that time, gone through every situation possible, and it still ends in a turnover.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
To about the 35, 2nd down. Deontay Banks there on the stop. We're on to the 4th here on Thanksgiving Day. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports as we are just about set to go here in quarter number 4. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. Five points of contact necessary at this stage as they'll run on first down. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. A running play. It's Dowdle. Sheds off the tackle. And he loses the football a second time. The situation for him offensively as follows. Down by 2 touchdowns. Just over a minute 40 to play. Can they take advantage of the late carelessness? We'll see as they've got a first down. Now Locke. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Locke. Drew Locke taken down in the end zone. 2 points for the defense. So that a double whammy. Not only do you have to give away the football, but the 2 points mean this is now a 2-score game.
And 2 doesn't seem like much, does it? But it means everything in this situation, because now they're going to have to look back, and ultimately that might be the play that ends up deciding this game.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here. He'll field this at the 5. And just shutting him off there. The home team's offense and their big play wideout getting ready to get back to work. The offense back out there at the line ready for their next drive. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's one timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
And he is going to have a first down here, and that should be the one that seals a victory. On the run, it's Dowdle. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Call it a gain of 11 yards, and that should just about do it. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They run here with Dowdle. Past the 20. Still on his feet. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Another touchdown here in the fourth quarter, and Charles, I think we can start to consider that this undefeated streak of theirs is going to be safe for another week.
And partner, you don't make it this far into a season without a loss unless you're getting contributions from both sides of the ball and sometimes even your special teams, and that's been true today. Each side helping guide them to this late lead.
Aubrey good with a PAT, and that pushes the lead up to 23. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And a long run there in the end to top it off. So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Now Locke. Pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys, and this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
But they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field, so you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for the home team here, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for our visitors, not much more to say. They dropped to 1-11, and they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.